Hi guys, 8th of November 2020, Sunday afternoon in Europe. Piotr is LifeFirst Global YouTube channel, and this is the afternoon with the crypto market update. Before we start with the crypto, let's check the Light Forex 15 years. So there is a big dream draw. Light Forex raffles a dream house, brand new SUV, car, and 18 super gadgets. Total prize found 350,000 USD, and the promotion period ends 3rd of May 2021. For the more details, I strongly encourage you to visit the website. All right, crypto weekend. So Bitcoin testing 16,000. We've seen the rejection. So the main question here is what next for the bulls and bears when it comes to the Bitcoin? Well, to be honest with you, we were discussing this quite a few times, okay? As long as we are above very important level, the latest weakness over here, based on the weekly chart, there is probably only one side, and it's an upside, right? So the sellers have to be extremely careful. So we were discussing two possible targets around 14 and 16,000, both being hit. The second one is a little bit wider because it's something between 16 and 17 based on what we discussed when it comes to the measure of the latest weakness, right? So that's more or less where we are. We are talking about the levels close to 17 as well. So that's the zone, right? Plus the swing highs we've seen closer to 17,000. Overall, we hit that supply zone. Now, there is a possibility, well, all of us are gonna say that there is a new US president, but still few things are possible. But anyway, Joe Biden is a winner, and I'm very curious how the market is going to react, how the dollar and the US indices are going to react. If we are going to see risk off, how the crypto is going to react. So basically, because of what we've seen, right, we hit the supply, the possibility of the pullback we have here. Now, there are two levels, in my opinion, where we might see some kind of the demand ahead of the rally, because I think as long as we are above 10k, we might see much higher levels. So currently there is a little bit of the nightmare when it comes to the weekly chart because of this upper shadow. Well, I do understand that the upper shadow is the latest thing the bulls want to see on the weekly chart. But if that's going to happen, if we are going to confirm that, the stronger pullback could be in place. Well, that's nothing wrong with that, to be honest with you. That could be the space for the latest buyers, and we might see retest of the low here in between 14,000, 13,700, the breakout low of this candle, so even 13,000 as a second one, right? So quite wide zone. So we might see this type of the pullback. Well, there is one more thing, okay? There is one more thing, and that's where I'm going to look for the buying opportunity in case we are going to see, in case we are going to see deeper pullback with the overall risk of, we are talking about the pullback towards 12 10K. So either 14,000, 13,700 or 12,000, 11,800, that's the two buying zones. And as long as we are above, the things related to the 10K, bulls are good to go. So this type of the pullback, or a little bit deeper, this type of the pullback, and the rally from here, or the rally from here. Now, what could be the next target? I think that if we are going to break 1617, right, we might, the measure of the full move to the downside, it's around 14K, 15K, right? And we can put it to the upside. So in that case, yes, medium long term, I see 30, 35 as a possible upside target, as long as we are above 10K. Now, going lower, when it comes to the daily chart, the few things we discussed a second ago are gonna be immediately visible here on this daily chart. What I'm talking about is the possible retest of one of the zones we discussed a second ago. So it might be that we are creating swing high here, and we might see lower levels. Now let's make the measure of that whole move to the downside, right? And in case of the swing high, if we are going to see the pullback from here, right, that's what we are going to see. It's 14, 13, 700, and I'm talking about this breakout from that zone, right? Now, if we are going to take into the consideration the whole move to the upside, all right, from the consolidation to the upside, and if we are going to make 1-2 move 1-to-1, right, so to that zone, then this type of the rally and another move to the downside, right, immediately you can see that retest of the 12,000 might be possible. So that's my view when it comes to the Bitcoin. Above 10K, very bullish. Short-term pullbacks as a buying opportunity. There are two possible zones, somewhere between 14,000, 13,800, but I do prefer 12,000, 11,800. Let's have a look what we have when it comes to the Ether, because the things are a little bit different here. Now, this upper shadow, it's much more scary than what we have on a Bitcoin. Why? Because here it's like finishing the business on the weekly chart. All right, here is like finishing the business on the weekly chart. If we are going to fail around the current level, right, we might see deeper pullback. How deep can we go? Well, the first one is going to be related to the levels close to 3020, right? That's something we already discussed quite a few times, right? I do expect some buying activity a little bit higher, around 370, right? So this break to the upside, those two lower shadows, but you have to be aware, the same like with the Bitcoin, I would rather prefer the second zone instead of those two shadows, right? Also, don't forget that there is untested latest weakness around 270. So that's another thing to consider in case of the strong pullback. The deep pullbacks I do expect to happen in case of some kind of the financial crisis, economical crisis all around the world. So let's have a look what we are going to get when it comes to 2021, 2022, but that's long-term perspective. Short-term perspective, looking for pullbacks and pullbacks as a buying opportunity when it comes to BTC and ETH. Thank you very much. Don't be trapped. Guys, take care. Goodbye and see you around.